Welcome to cooking cheap, easy, and tasty meal. Okay, today I'm going to make a buttery loaf of bread. I guess it's a buttery and sweet loaf of bread because it has a little sweetness to it too. Good for sandwiches. We'll start off with a teaspoon of yeast. This is instant yeast. Bought it during COVID in large quantity, and I'm still taking it out of the freezer and using it. So, pretty good deal. And we're going to add a tablespoon of flour for the yeast to have something to eat. I don't think it absolutely needs it because we're going to go with this pretty quick, but I thought we ought to try it that way. And I'm going to put about a quarter cup of warm water in there. All I'm doing is testing the yeast. I don't know that I really need to, but it won't hurt since weather's cold and that yeast has been around a while. I don't think it'd be a bad idea to test it. All we're going to do is stir this all up. We'll put that aside for a little while and see what it does. Hopefully it will begin to bubble. Okay, we're going to start with some butter that we have melted. That's about 3/4 of a cup and about 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And we're going to let that mix up at low speed until it's well combined. Speed it up a little bit. Now you could use softened butter, but I have never found that it made that much difference. Now I'm going to add 2 egg yolks. And I'm going to add, that's 1/2 cup of buttermilk. You could use regular milk, but buttermilk will definitely give it more flavor. So I would go to the trouble of doing that. Now we're not going to add any salt since I used salted butter, but I am going to add a little something for flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla, about a teaspoon of vanilla. There, here we go, just about a teaspoon. I'm just going to guess. Won't hurt if there's a little more. And finally, we're going to add flour, and we're going to add 2 2/3 cups of flour. That's 1. Turn this down a little bit so I don't cover the whole house with flour. And then 2/3 Okay. And then we're going to add the yeast mixture, which has indeed done all right. Okay. I'm going to scrape it down a little bit. flour everywhere. So I'm going to put the dough hook on and close it down. Put that on and I'm going to start it kneading. Pick it up a little bit and give it several minutes to knead. Use this for anything. You notice it's starting to come together. Okay, I think that's enough for the beginning. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to lift this up, scrape off the last of this, take this out, and I'm going to cover it and set it aside for an hour or so until it doubles. Probably going to take several hours. It's cool in the house. I may have to actually put it somewhere warm to help this rise. So I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap. And I'm going to let it sit until it doubles in size. Okay, our next step, we're going to put down a little flour. And we're going to cut this into pieces. And we have a buttered pan. So our next step is to take the dough out. It's been sitting for a while. Feels nice and airy, which is good. And we're going to take it. I'm going to turn it a few times just to get it into a ball shape. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into some pieces. I'm going to try and get it into several pieces. Okay, there's one. I'm going to cut this one into 4. Hopefully I'm getting them about half. Close enough. And then I'm going to take them and roll them. And I'm going to put them into kind of a little bun kind of thing into the pan. And get that last kind of piece in there and try and get them shake down a little bit. Try and get them a little even. And then I'm going to cover them with the piece of plastic that I had on the other and put them in a warm spot to let them rise for an hour or so. Hopefully until they get to the top of the pan. We'll see. It's pretty cold in here, so I may have to connive that a little bit. I don't have a proofing location, but I'm going to put them, I've got the oven warm from earlier, but it's not hot, so I'm going to stick them in the oven and hopefully that will rise. Now, our bread has risen. Took a little extra time, but it has risen. It's pretty cool in the house. I put it in the oven and turned on the light, and that given time seemed to do it. I'm putting a little butter on top, just to let it brown a little better. We'll put it in a 350-degree oven and let it cook for 25 to 35 minutes. We'll see what it actually requires. I'm going to rotate it in about 15 minutes. Okay, let's take a look. It looks really good. Yep, that's fine. Okay, we finally made it. Unfortunately, that was like 45 minutes. So I'm going to let it cool for a little while, and then I'm going to dump it out, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, I basically got a nice loaf. It's cooled. It's a heavy loaf. I think it would not have been that way, but it was a little too cold in the house. I didn't prepare for how cold it was. I needed to proof it a little better, and I needed to let it rise in a warmer place. But I think it's still going to be good. It's just going to probably be a little more dense. Now, it should just break in pieces because of the way I laid it in there. And sure enough, it does. If you take a look, it's got a nice, soft-looking interior. It tastes really good. A little sweet. But even though it's a little dense, it's still, once you break it open, it's got a beautiful crumb, and it tastes really good. Can't ask for much more than that. I had originally planned this for sandwiches, but I suspect it will now be used for things like French toast or something like that. But still pleased. The next time I make this bread, I will probably wait until it's warmer or plan a little better for the rise. I just don't have a good proofing station to let things rise, but I'll have to work on that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you try it. It was very good. And it was fairly easy to make too. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give us a like. Thank you.